Diana. Thank you for joining me on my channel, The Root Wave. Say hello. Hi. I basically wanted to have you on the channel to discuss a bunch of things that not only interest me, but I feel like it's a big movement lately, and it may be underground at the moment, but I just feel like there's going to be a point where it's just going to explode. So if you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself and just telling me a little bit of what you do, please.
So I recently moved to Palm Springs, and I feel like I was kind of called here. I've gone through like this major transformational, I don't know, I feel like it's a spiritual transformation. So a little bit about my background. I used to be an art director for an ad agency, and while I was working there, I experienced a lot of corruption, like sexism, a lot of boys clubs, people taking over my work and taking credit for me. So I was honestly called to start reading cards after I was terminated for something I didn't even do. So I don't know, I can't remember exactly what happened, but I remember walking into like a metaphysical store, and they had different tarot cards, and I was just drawn to a deck of cards, and so then I just started reading them every single day. And it's been, I mean, that was 3 years ago. So it's been kind of a crazy ride. Just learning about this whole ascension process, and that it is very underground. It is like some people think spirituality is like some type of like a fad,
Right.
And it's kind of crazy. It's just I'm excited about how things are going to be played out, but you can really feel like something's about to happen.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm all over the place, but yeah, I just feel like you're really called to go towards a specific path, and I feel like that's what a lot of people are waking up to. Yeah. So it's a lot of healing work, a lot of just guiding people.
Right. It's funny that you mentioned 3 years ago, because I want to say everything that's ever happened to me so far spiritually happened 3 years ago too. It seems that from what I've been reading and seeing and learning, based on how the planets are lining up, is what's affecting a lot of us within the last 2 to 3 years. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, you definitely, in our, before we started this, we were talking a little bit about myself, and we definitely do have a lot in common, because a big reason why I wanted you here is because this interests me a lot, because same thing happened to me. I was in corporate America, very corrupt, very ugly, nasty. Just, I've never seen such nastiness in my life. Like, I hope I never go back to that. I decided to quit my job, and then while all this was happening, I was kind of going through this transition of spirituality, of clarity, of self-awareness, of just growing up. Just growing up, get your shit together, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you what tarot reading is and what it consists of.
So tarot is basically a deck of cards that have different icons and images and symbolism. So for me, I feel like when I started getting into tarot, I didn't really go by the book. I just would look at a card, and then this was the trippiest thing, because I know there's some people that really go by the book, no, this card means this. And what happened during my spiritual awakening was I would see a card or an image, and my guides would start to show this story being played out through the images. And I knew it wasn't so hard to explain. I knew it wasn't coming from me. It was coming from my guides. So I feel like tarot basically helps people with mental issues, because the cards basically play as a mirror. So when someone asks a question, whatever it is that's playing out in their mind, it's then reflected through the cards.
Right.
So it's like, and I just started learning about all this stuff about tarot, but tarot is basically a form of healing, like healing others, because I'm basically helping guide people through like their trauma. So I don't know, it's like, and it gets very, very deep. Like tarot is very, very deep. It helps a lot of people with like just a lot of their struggles. But like the most of the questions that I get is about love, but I really do feel like tarot like really helps you understand yourself.
Right. Right. Now you mentioned that you get these messages. Where are these messages coming from, in your opinion?
So everybody has like this like oversoul, like a higher self, right? It's attached to them. So I feel like the more I'm doing tarot, I feel like my tribe is getting bigger. I just feel like I have several guides, and like, okay, so you see the numbers, right? 11, 11, 16.
Every number that's,
And I stop me if I'm talking too fast or if I start to trip you out, okay? So those numbers are honestly like we're being upgraded. Every time we see those numbers, like we're being upgraded. So for example, I just feel like my psychic abilities are improving every single day, and I feel it.
Right.
And when I talk about my guides, it's like some days it's like a whisper, like, no, tell her to focus on meditation. Like they'll talk to me in that way.
But is it in your voice or someone else's voice?
God, it's so hard to explain. It's a very nurturing voice. I can't even put a tone to this voice. It's just very nurturing.
Right.
Motherly.
Right.
And it's like a whisper. And then sometimes it's just like a thought. It's just a thought that comes to me, and I get messages in different ways.
Right. So I'm kind of going through the same thing right now, which is this is crazy, because I feel like more and more that I get into my meditation and just my spirituality, even my crystals. Yeah, you see, even the crystals, like I'm starting to realize that those thoughts that I used to get my whole life, some of them are me, and then some of them are not. Like some of them are just kind of saying, hey, pay attention to this or do that, or look out for this, or you haven't called this person in a while. And then, like, you know what I'm saying? Like just kind of like that, those messages. And then you realize that, hold on, there's something bigger here. And I'm glad that you brought up the number thing, because I also feel kind of the same way when I see certain numbers and certain things that resonate to me. It just feels like something's happening at that moment, and all of a sudden these numbers are showing up. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. Was it hard for you to learn how to do the tarot?
It was only hard because like I started off like doing reading cards to my friends, and then I was invited to parties, and then it's been a while since I came across something like this. But I would come across someone that would be like, wait, does that card really mean that? And it's like, but it's not really about that. Like I do feel like it's necessary to understand what the cards mean. It is necessary, but everybody has their like way of talking to their guides, or their guides talk to them through their cards. They can send you messages through your mind. So I just remember in the beginning, there would be some people that were kind of negative, just like, wait, are you sure that card means that? Like, doesn't matter. Just the message. So, yeah, I basically taught myself. And then YouTube is freaking amazing. I love your reaction.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, like, I wanted to say something right now. There's not a day where I'm like, there's so many amazing readers on YouTube. The way they deliver a story, I'm just like,
it's a hell of a time to be alive. That's all I gotta say. Hell of a time.
I just was like, I can watch YouTube all day. I really can.
Yeah, I cut my cable. I only watch YouTube, I think.
God, that was so bad.
Cable. Yeah. So you were talking about the readings, and now how should How should someone take a general reading? Because you do general readings on your YouTube channel, right? So you're not really speaking to one person, you're speaking to a collective. So how should someone take that general reading as opposed to a personal reading that they may get from you?
God, that's a good question.
I told you I had questions for you.
Okay, I'll say this though.
Okay.
I say to people that if it doesn't, the minute a reading does not resonate, I always say like click off.
You think so?
I really believe I like if it really starts to not feel like your story, you should I suggest to click off.
Okay, but just playing devil's advocate, there's times when you're seeing these people on YouTube who are awesome, but they'll come across like 2 or 3 separate messages within their reading, and you feel like, oh, that one's me, but though that other one is not. Should you're kind of advising that maybe none of them should apply?
When it gets like that, honestly, I click off. When the reader gives too many options,
That's
I
true.
try
Yeah,
to
that
figure
turns me off.
out, okay, I'm seeing this scenario, this scenario. I was like, no,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
gets too crazy. Okay, so with a personal, I make people cry.
yeah.
I get very deep. Like
Damn, I gotta do
I
one with you then.
I get deep and like I'm gonna say this and I hope this makes sense. It's like as I'm talking to them, I could tell that I'm about to get really emotional. Like my guides are like even showing me before I even like say anything, they're just like, we're about to get really deep. And I'll just be like, wait, like I don't know if I want to talk about this, and I'll tell them like, did something happen to you as a child or whatever? And so sometimes I really try to stop it, but like I can even make myself cry because of what they show me.
Right.
So it just the difference with but it happens in general too. I get very emotional.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's always different. You always the people that I must follow like 10 of you guys, and there's always like different emotions. Some days you're just like off, just right because there's just a flow of energy and a flow of messages.
Right now, the energy is just so funky.
Oh my god! Since yesterday, I've been in funk since like evening time until
Yeah.
today. I'm just like, and I'm like, I just had another interview before this, and I'm just like trying to like, my soul is like, yay, but my body and everything's just like, oh, like I don't want to do this.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So, let me see. I have some other questions for you, and I got lost here.
I love your question.
Yeah, I told you it's all like personal stuff too, because I'm just like, I get it. So when you do these general readings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I go to the comments, and there's like a whole bunch of people that are saying the same shit, right? They're just like, "Oh my god, me too." For Leo's, the last 7 years has been shit, and I'm like, "Yeah, you're right," because I'm a Leo. Just shit like that, right? And you're like,
I love you guys' comments. It's so good. I'm like they're just laughing, like wow.
yeah, and everybody's kind of has like a cookie cutter type of similarity to what you said that time, right? So how does that work? Like, what is your theory on that?
It honestly comes down to that we're all connected.
Right.
We're all connected.
Right.
And okay, I don't want to try to put down any other readers, but like it's crazy. Like you can tell who you resonate with depending on your vibration.
Right.
Like, there's readers that kind of are like low vibrational.
Yeah.
There's readers that are high vibrational.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of interesting when a reader doesn't resonate with you. Like you can see where you're like at as far as frequency.
Right.
So
wow, that's crazy.
I feel like we're all connected. We're all connected. There's an energy that I'm picking up on, and like it's really interesting.
But could it be one? My theory is it could be something with patterns, right?
Okay.
So the way I was born on. Let me give you an example. Okay, I used to work somewhere where I had a lot of access to data. I just put in a date of birth, and I had the whole country per se, right? So right before I quit my job, before I started doing this, I remember I would look up like, I don't know, my date of birth or somebody else's date of birth, and then you would see like somebody with like either the same name as me or a close variation of it, which I've also dove in a little bit into nakshatras, which it seems like if your planets are certain aligned, you come out with certain characteristics, a certain type of life issues, good, bad. And then at the same time, I've also seen that based on where you were born and your nakshatra, you also have a certain type of name. So I've also seen that these people have like these names, or I'll look at my daughter's date of birth, and I'm like, holy shit, there's like 100 of them. Like, it's like, do you feel that that also has to do with it? That there's a huge pattern of that?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
yeah. I
Like,
mean,
I just feel like more and more everything. Well, lately I've been seeing a lot of connections with everything
right.
and like synchronicity. So I do feel like that. Like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then the other thing that I think is huge that I've been dying to ask you too is, do you feel that what we consider as depression being part of like the planetary alignments that just fuck us up on one days and the other days not?
Like when things are kind of like misaligned or whatever.
Well, you know how sometimes, like today, right? We're talking about how the energy's down, and for you and I, maybe we can understand why that is. But for like someone who isn't into this and is having a shitty day, which happens to me too, you know. Sometimes I'll watch like a forecast or I'll look up the alignment of the planets, and I'm like, this week's gonna be shitty, and then you have like a whole bunch of friends going, man, what a shitty week. But you know, you're walking around a little more prepared because you're more spiritual. But could it be said that people who aren't spiritual in that sense, that the depression could be caused by the planetary alignments?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
think so?
yeah.
So
That's a good. It's a okay. It's God, that I was just talking to a friend about that. Like, there's so many people that don't know
right,
that we're getting hit right now by strong like energy waves,
right,
right?
right,
So that's why I get kind of emotional in some of my videos because of the cards that show up. It's like what I'm shown is someone having suicidal thoughts.
um,
And that's why I'm just like, God, we're such in an interesting time because there's some people that are still feeling weird about talking about spirituality. They really have the wrong idea of tarot cards. And it's just crazy. Like, people can really fall into a deep depression if they're not aware of this energy.
right, right. It's dangerous, right? I feel like it is, you know.
Yeah, and no one talks about it.
No, it's so important. I don't. I mean, everything that I've been studying and reading, and I mean, I feel like I'm studying for a final. Like that's how much I'm into this stuff, right? And you're like, wow, like this can solve a lot of like everyday normal people problems. Like if you just knew that, hey, this week you gotta be like an extra, or a little this or a little that, like it would change the game. It would change the game immensely, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've been doing a lot of random research for no like I don't want to say no reason, but it really feels like for no reason. Just I'm very interested.
Yeah, me too. I just can't stop. I can't stop at all. Now, any tips on? Give me tips on somebody that might be watching this. That number one. Let's start with number one, who wants to get into reading tarot cards. What's a good starting point?
Okay, so I meet a lot of girls. I meet a lot of girls, women, that really want to get into tarot cards.
Right.
And for some reason, they just feel like they're not allowed to, or something, right?
Right.
And they really just need to let that go. Don't even care what anyone thinks. And really, you start getting really good with the cards when you finally have, like, you find that confidence within.
Right.
So I always suggest them, like, that's why meditation is so important. Because, like, if you don't meditate, you let your mind run wild or whatever, and it's just crazy. I do meet a lot of people that are interested in tarot cards, but they're like, for some reason, they're very scared to even touch it. And it's just, I would suggest someone definitely just buying a deck that they're attracted to and getting familiar with the cards. And meditation plays a major role because that's how you find out, like, how your guides are talking to you.
Right.
When you finally quiet your mind, you start to hear, like, your intuition, your guides. And so, like, that's why I tell people, like, if you're really going to get into tarot, you're going to have to learn how to meditate. You have to. And then you have to, like, stop with the self-doubt and negative thoughts, because it really does take a lot of confidence to read cards for, like, so many people. So like you have to like let go of your ego. You have to find your confidence within. It's a lot.
Well, that's spirituality, right? Like finding the confidence, letting go of the ego, meditating, and then
Yes.
going from there, right?
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it's crazy. Now, what about someone? What's a tip for someone that's watching this and it's like, all right, I don't want to read tarot, but I want to get into it as far as it being part of my life. What advice or tips would you give them?
YouTube.
You, yeah, but there's a whole bunch of them out there that's just like,
Oh, God, you're so smart. Yes. Okay. Okay. I do find YouTube amazing, but people need to have discernment. Okay.
yeah.
And in order to have discernment, you have to meditate to like know right from wrong. And like, there's a lot of good people out there, but there's a lot of people that do not meditate.
Mm-hmm.
So like, they think it's so good to be like busy with work and everything, right? And their mind just running wild. And that's where you can go wrong. So I just think like YouTube could be a really great help, but you really have to like you have to meditate within yourself, but you also have to have discernment about like who you're listening to.
Right, because you have to connect to the higher, right? And then that way we all, like you said, we're all connected. And then if you're speaking and I'm connected, there's a good chance I'm going to get a nice little message for myself, right?
Right. And I'll just say this much: it's kind of trippy, like what I'm seeing, like with the music industry and Instagram, like what is being advertised to like all of us, the population. We have to be very, very mindful because there's a lot of mind manipulation going on.
Oh my God, that's the scariest.
And I feel like I'm a broken record. I keep on talking about meditation, but it's the truth. You have to your mind. You have to step away from like what we've been under manipulation by. So I don't know. Very crazy.
Well, another tip, and now that we're talking about giving tips, one thing that happened to me was once I started my spirituality, and then I got it like, let's just say the crystals, right? When I got into crystals, I was like, where's the instructions? Like, I was thinking very human, right? Where you're just like, where's the instructions? Who do I call? Where's the hotline number? So that way I can, how does this work, right? But the more and more that I realize, and I guess this would be good advice for people trying to get into it on the reading side or trying to get into it in the spiritual side, would be you kind of got to make it your own, and it's gotta flow to you. It's not like it's very hard, and I spent a lot of time like looking for manuals and like looking for help, and then you just realize in the end it's all about how you take it, how you work it, and then how it fits for you, and then also kind of just going with the flow, right? Yeah.
For me, when I started getting into crystals, I would just whatever I was attracted to. That's how it first started, right? Like I would just see crystals, like, oh my God, this is so beautiful.
Right.
So like, because I went to art school, right? So I would just like stare at crystals for hours. And then from there, I would buy them and then take them home and do all this research on that one crystal. And I thought that was so fucking amazing that one crystal can like heal so many things.
Right.
And I had so many issues like anxiety, social anxiety. Back in the day, I really had my doubts about spirits. And now I realize that those spirits were real.
Right.
I had so many people call me crazy. So it's a trip.
Yeah, it is. It's a big trip. It's so crazy. Any story that you have that is either personal or through a reading that you would share that is like, oh my God, like holy shit, like people would be like, wow.
Oh, okay. I got a good story.
Okay.
It's kind of dark. It's a little bit scary, but it has a good ending. So with this spiritual journey, I did a lot of research on narcissists. My last boyfriend was a major narcissist. Like, I'm talking evil. And just to show you how evil he was, he honestly kicked me out of his house and left me homeless.
Wow.
Like, this guy was bad. So after we like officially broke up, there were a couple of times where we would still meet up, right? We were trying to still work it out. And I don't know what happened this one day, but something seriously took over him. Like something took over his vessel.
Mm-hmm.
I saw something so scary. And I remember, God, I feel so dumb because I kept on giving him the benefit of the doubt. Like I kept on thinking like, I'm crazy. I'm not seeing this. And I remember we went to Ralph's like to get some groceries and stuff, and he was picking fights with random people.
Mm.
It was so fucking scary. And then somehow we ended up back at my house, and I remember my heart was pounding. I was so scared. I was like, I want this guy out of like my house, like out of my life. And I don't know what I did to get him out, but I made up some lie. But he was like, he could sense that I just like was getting scared. And I remember the way he was talking to me, you better fucking let me back in when I come back. And it's like, yeah, don't worry. And I closed the door. I think I called 911. I forgot the order. I think I called 911. I told them what was going on. And then I remember like I hung up the phone and grabbed my crystals and I started burning sage. This is before I started my channel.
Mm-hmm.
So my grandmother, she passed away. My grandmother from my mom's side, she would always burn sage. So I'm in the living room crying, holding crystals, burning sage, and then I just see this fucking vision of it was so tribal, of my grandmother walking in a circle burning sage. And I honestly was like, I don't remember the order of how I thought about the name Sage Advice, but it was because of that vision that I saw. And I remember my grandmother looked so fucking happy to see me. But then she was crying because she knew that like I was like hurting. Like after that I was like protected.
Yeah. Do you see that like an image in front of you, or do you see that in your mind?
It was so trippy. It was right in front of me. It was kind of like she did look like a ghost. Like it wasn't like she didn't look like me. She looked like a ghost.
Right.
It was trippy. It was really trippy.
Yeah. How do you relate what people consider like ghosts and spirits when it comes to spirituality? Like how do they interconnect?
So when someone so basically all of us, we have souls, right?
Right.
And then when we pass away, the energy it doesn't disappear. So like when my grandmother passed away, her energy basically like connects to mine. So like everybody has their own tribe, like they have their ancestors next to them. So I just feel like basically after someone dies, their frequency changes, their energy changes, and they're no longer like in this like a human vessel. They're just like energy around you. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, what I saw was very powerful.
Right.
And I feel like there were so many meanings behind why I had to see that or why she showed me that. But it was very, very deep because I honestly was disconnected from my family. So seeing my grandmother do that, it was just like, wow, that's so cool. And to feel very protected too.
Yeah. Do you follow any people that you recommend?
Oh my God. Aluna Ash.
I think I follow.
Aluna Ash. God, I'm going to go blank. Miss High Concept.
Okay.
There's so many.
There's so many, right?
I want to give everybody's name out.
Well, I have to say that I follow, I want to say like 10 or 12, right? And you're one of them. I was thinking about reaching out to any one of you, but honestly, when I was like contemplating, I was going, who do I reach out to? Because they're all so good, right? I don't know. Like you did August and September reading for me. Just knocked it out the freaking park for me. Like I was like, like I forwarded the reading to people. Like I was like, tell me this isn't me right now. Like this is like spot on, right? And then all of a sudden, it's almost like I got a message going, this is the person you need to reach out to. And I was like, okay, we're gonna do that. Yeah, but it's amazing. It's unexplainable, but I want to say that religion isn't explainable. So it's fair to say that spirituality isn't either, because it's just something that it comes within, and then you kind of have to figure it out and work it, right?
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. We have to find our own path. But what's a big part of it is that we all are connected.
Right.
And I think part of this journey is us finding to like love each other again.
Mm-hmm.
Because like Earth basically went to a very, very dark place.
Oh my God, yes.
That's why we have light workers. That's why we're here. That's why we're being forced to quit our jobs.
In droves. Yeah, because that's what it feels like.
I love it so much.
Yeah, no, me too. Like I'm contemplating getting into this a little bit, but I don't know. Like I just keep getting this message like you're supposed to do something. I don't know if it's this because I love this and I always wanted to do it, but I would have never done it if I didn't find myself. Like I would have never been able to say, "Hey, I'm just gonna get on the camera and just start shooting this shit," right? And then not care that a camera's watching me or who's watching me. Like I'm just gonna do me. But at the same time, I wanted to do subjects that, if somebody watches this, they may be like, "Yo, he does that, then I'm gonna do it too." Like it's fine. Or look, she looks normal. Like we're fine, right?
We're fine.
Yeah, but it's amazing.
What it is really though, okay, so it is about practicing self-love, but by you doing what you love, it's like, I hope I'm making sense, but the universe will reward you. That's all like the universe just wants you to do what you love.
Right, we all play a part in that.
Yeah.
Because if I'm doing something that I love with love, I'm gonna give out more love, and then that just adds on to wherever it needs to go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty
beautiful.
Yeah, it's nuts. Anything else you want to add before I end this interview?
This was a cool interview.
Yeah, thank you.
I love your question.
Yeah.
I just want to say that everyone should be very excited where we're going.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to get emotional, but it's like every day I'm learning more and more about like this, like where we're going and what this journey's about. But it's amazing to know that like, God, I want to say like 5 million things. It's like we're coming out of a dark place.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of people were killing each other, and like, do you remember? I was thinking about this morning that like, it was like my friends or something. Like if you showed love to it, like a friend or something, they would say like that's gay. You know what I mean? Like it was a negative thing, and like it's just proof. Like wow, we had to really like change our mindset and like really be mindful about how we're treating each other. So I don't know, very exciting times.
Very exciting. Do you feel that change is coming because of planetary alignments or just because of energy based?
Yes, the shift, the planets, and then we're now coming into the age of Aquarius.
Right.
So yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and I think when we were at the age of Aquarius last time, it was kind of similar, correct? Because I think I was reading something like that too, where there was like a similar movement of love and.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now it's coming back. We like desperately need it.
Yeah, no, it's time. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I always tell them like, I think you ever see those memes that say like, "Oh, I don't belong in this generation," or
Yes.
"I don't belong." One of my spirituality coaches told me that that's just basically the universe kind of telling you like, we need you here right now. That's why you're like, that's why you don't fit in.
God.
And I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. That just blew my mind. Like, that just made me start to think really outside the box and be like, I can't be selfish going like, damn, they're not in the right time. And then you're like, no, you're in the right time because you're different for a reason. Right? Do you feel like that too?
Yeah, I want to say this year I just learned about this, but like, because my childhood was fucking tough.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Very, very bad, abusive parents.
Me too.
Narcissist family.
Mm-hmm.
And I started learning that light workers, pretty much all of them have like a very rough life. And it's for a reason.
That's why I feel like that, because I'm like, holy shit, like, and I talk to other people too, and they're the same way. They're like, oh yeah, but the universe gives us these obstacles in the beginning, so that way when we grow up and stuff, we have the capacity to be able to heal these people.
Yeah. And honestly, I want to say every aspect of my life growing up, like from high school was fucking tough. college was really tough. And then even as an art director, that was fucking ugly. And it was just like, I don't know if you ever felt like this, but it was like, why me?
Mhm.
Like, why
I'm
did
such a good person.
Yeah. I was like, why are people picking on me? Like, it was the craziest feeling.
Yeah,
but
same
now
thing.
it's making sense.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting.
Very cool. So before I leave you, just wanted to see one, if you would give us a motivational send out, and then also tell us how we can find you.
Find me, like, contact me.
Yeah, like where should we go to see your stuff and all that goodness?
So I have my website, sageadvicereadings.com, and then YouTube, Sage Advice. A standout, what do you mean by that? Like,
Well, something inspirational, because my big goal was I've done a couple of interviews since I started, but this is like my big one, because this is what I love and want to be able to get people inspired. So when people see this, what's a good inspirational anecdote that you can give, so that way somebody can be like, all right.
okay. I want to say two things. You know how you've been noticing the weather's been kind of like scary, kind of ugly, right? The other day someone was talking to me and they were just like, well, we don't have anything to worry about because we're all divinely protected. Okay? I hope this is going to make sense. But like, when I took that sentence and I really I was like, that's true. We're all divinely protected. It just felt so like empowering and just like, I don't know. I feel like we're all going to find out that we're all here for a specific reason and we're all here to help each other. And lately I've been feeling so grateful and excited about like what's to come. Like, we're coming like out of this like really dark times of people killing one another and like people being okay with having guns and stuff. Like, now that's all going to change. So I feel like people have a lot to look forward to. People have a lot to be grateful for, and it's just like, I don't know, like, I just want to, like, I feel like the possibilities are endless for people now. It's like a really great time.
It's an awesome time, and I used to really hate being in this time. All right, Diana, well, I really appreciate your time. I really do. Like, you have no idea how awesome this was and how like inspirational this is. I really want to thank you. I'm going to put all your information below. Maybe we could do this again sometime. I think I'm gonna have to reach out to you for a personal reading, because
For sure.
yeah. All right, Diana, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you around. Peace.
Hallelujah.